Hello, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to reinvent your life, part 2. So if you watched the first video on how to reinvent your life, you've already done the hard work. You have stripped apart everything that you are and that you are not, and you have created a vision of who you want to be. Excellent job. Now we're moving on to step 2 of the How to Reinvent Your Life framework. Step 2 is to define what values and standards future you needs to have to bring about your ultimate end result. See, we live our lives through our standards and our values. The things that we value get our attention, and the standards that we hold are the things that we hold ourselves to even when things don't go our way. When we have the worst day of our lives, like arguably the worst day that could have possibly happened to us, if we have standards in place, we will not deviate from those standards. If one of your standards is no matter what, I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, if that's a standard for you, you could go to bed at 4:59. But your standard will make you get up at 5 a.m. Now, I know that's a drastic example, but it is exactly how this works. And you're going to need different standards and you're going to need different values if you expect to change who you are, a fundamental piece of who you are, to reinvent your whole life. You can't believe the same things and you can't value the same things that you value now. If you are somebody who values comfort and you want to lose weight, I have a horrible, horrible realization for you. Okay? You are going to be so uncomfortable losing weight. You are going to be borderline miserable losing weight. But guess what? It's going to get easier, and you're going to get more confident, and you're going to feel better. And there are going to be so many benefits to losing weight. But you are the price of admission is getting uncomfortable. So if you're willing to do that, then great, you're already halfway there. You got your foot in the door, you're ready to sprint. Excellent. But understand that you're going to have to value different things and you're going to have to hold yourself to a different standard. So here's the deal. What we value gets our attention and it usually gets made a priority. So right now, what I want you to do is I want you to identify your top 3, could be 5, but try to keep it to 3, your top 3 values, the things you value the most in your life. I want you to take those top 3 values and I want you to ask yourself the question, are the values I have now the values I need in the future? Okay? Are the values I have now the values I need in the future? And if you don't want to use the word need, that's fine. Are the values that I have now the values I want to bring into the future? Are these the things that I want to value future me? So for example, if you value your family at number 1, and you know for a fact that your family is always going to be your number 1 value, great, cool, no problem. Move that into the future. Here's what I will tell you. If you value your family and your family is part of the problem, you're going to have to do a little digging, a lot of deep work here. Because what will end up happening, and this happened to a ton of my clients, is that they're very family oriented. I love my family to death. I'll do anything for my family. I'll sacrifice myself for my family. And most people do. And because most people sacrifice themselves for their family, they never get to know who they really are because they've only lived for their family. They've never lived for themselves. So what I will say is if your family or your friends or anybody like this, your spouse, anything, if they are a top value for you, but they are also something that's keeping you stuck in this part of life that you want to escape, if they are something that's keeping you holding on to these negative beliefs, holding on to this self-doubt about yourself, keeping you in a negative environment, if that is the case, you have to ask yourself, is this something that I need to highly prioritize? Is this a value that I want to keep so high up at number 1? Or is this value going to get in the way of what I want to accomplish? And it doesn't mean you have to get rid of it. I'm not asking you to get rid of your family. Absolutely not. However, you do have to know, do I need to rewrite this value? Do I need to believe in this value in a different way? Do I have to believe that I'm going to love my family unconditionally, but they're going to have no influence on the change that I make for myself so that I can give back to them? Awesome. That's a great reframe. Take that, move that forward. You can keep the value high, but just understand that it is now a new value. You still value your family, but you value them specifically, okay? So take your values, write them out, and figure out, are these values as they are now, are they going to be effective for me becoming this person that I want to be? Are they going to be effective? Yes or no? And figure that out. Number 2, what are your standards right now, if you have any? If you do have some standards, great. What are those standards? I always work 8 hours a day, no matter what. Okay, cool, great, good standard. I always go to the gym 3 days a week. Great, cool standard. Now, it's not about are these good or are these bad standards? That's not the question. The question is, are these the standards that future you is going to need to hold themselves to bring about your ultimate end outcome? And whatever your end outcome is, that's subjective to you. You want to live a happier life. You want to feel like you're at peace. You want the career of your dreams. You want to get into a relationship. I don't care. It can be anything. But in order to reinvent yourself to get these things, what standards do you need to hold yourself to get there? We'll use the weight loss example again. If you're somebody who wants to lose weight, but you value comfort and you have no standards, well, you're never going to lose weight. I'm sorry. I love you to death, but you're never going to lose weight because you value things and you don't have any standards, and you value something that is going to keep you stuck in the position that you're in. So you need to change these. So a standard that you now must hold yourself to is, no matter how bad I feel in a day, I will stay true to my diet. And that can be a standard. Excellent. Now we've taken everything that could possibly happen to us, and we have made it a standard that is not going to become an excuse. That is not something that's going to get in my way. Rather, that is something that's just going to happen because it's life, and it's not going to derail me from my ultimate end goal because I have a standard to hold myself to. It's not just a want or a desire. It is a standard that no matter what happens, I stick to my diet. And boom, there you go. You're already creating this new person by just changing your values and your standards and living in accordance to those. That's the other really, really important piece here. You can't just set these. You can't say, all right, my current values and standards are X, my future values and standards are Y. Great, I did all the work. No, you did not. You did the beginning of the work, okay? It's necessary what you did, but you need to do so much more, okay? So in this gap, we have to figure out, all right, I have my values, I got my standards now, and I have the values and standards of who I need to be, or of who I want to be, and what those standards and values need to be. Awesome, great, good, wonderful. How can I start incorporating those standards into my life now? How can I start prioritizing my future values now? Make it immediate. If you wait, if you push this off and procrastinate, I promise you, you will find every possible excuse that you can find to wait to get started. You will push this stuff off. You will have a bad day and you will say, you know what, I haven't started on my standards yet. I can just eat ice cream and cookies and make myself feel better and emotionally eat and just sit on the couch and watch TV. I don't have to go to the gym today. I'm going to start that tomorrow. No, you're not. It's a standard. These are your values now. You're adopting a new value set. You're creating a new standard for your life. When you can do this and you can hold yourself accountable to these standards, everything else gets easy. And you start building discipline, and you start to actually believe that you can follow through on something that you said you would do. And when you can do that, that is real confidence. That is when self-belief really starts to build. And that is when you become unstoppable. So take your current values, your current standards, break them down, just similar to how you did in the first video. Figure out your future values, your future standards, what needs to happen, who you need to be, how you need to show up, all right, what you need to hold yourself accountable to, what you must value in life to bring about your reality. And once you find those, find a way to start incorporating those today. So until next time, I will see you in video part 3 of how to reinvent. Oh, you couldn't even see my fingers at 3. I don't even know where my camera is. Part 3 of how to reinvent your life. I'll see you in that video. Thank you for your time and stopping by on this video. I hope you learned something valuable that you can now take and incorporate into your life to create a better future. 2 things I ask of you. Number 1, if this was helpful, can you please do me a favor? Share this video with a friend. Help someone else out and help me get the word out to them. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a new update. And like the video if you enjoyed the content. I'll talk to you soon.